Crafty peeps, welcome to our second February Craftology box tutorial. As you know, we have been using the Echo Park Party Time paper collection, and I really love it. I think it's super duper cute. This is the album that I made on our Facebook group, Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations Live, and then I went ahead and uploaded it here on YouTube. So you all are already familiar with this little book. Of course, I was able to create this book in under 4 hours. I really love it. So the base of it is 6.5 by 6.5, but the pages are 6 by 6. So let's get into what we're going to do today. We're going to make an A2 card, which will fit in this little box. I mean, our little mini album, and I think that they are really cute. So the one I'm going to show you today is going to be very similar to this one. And this is an A2 card, which means that it is 4.25 by 5.5, okay? Super duper cute. You're going to need an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. You're going to need a circle punch, or if you have circle dies, you're welcome to use those. I'm using 2 of our little, I think they're 3 by 4s, okay? I'm going to use 2 of those, so one for the outside and one for my message inside. So that I don't have to stamp. So that just makes it a lot easier. Some stickers from your collection. You're going to need your art glitter glue or any adhesive. You could use your glue gun, etc. That's completely up to you. And then you can use some of your stickers from your sticker collection and whatever color you want your balloon to be. I made mine orange because I wanted a more masculine card. And today I'm going to make a more feminine card, but I still think I'm going to keep the orange in there because, well, it's in there. So I'm just going to start off by punching off some of my little circles here. And I believe I used 4, but I'm going to punch 5 just in case I mess up or something. You never know. Okay, and then I'm just going to put those to the side for the moment, and I'm going to put my little cards to the side. And I always use my scoreboard, but you don't have to do this. So you're going to measure it at 5.5 by, I believe it's 8.25. No, I'm sorry, 5.5 by 8.5, okay? And then you're going to take your cutting board. And where is my big doll? My dolly cutter. Anyway, well, I guess I'll just use this one for now. I really prefer my dolly cutter, but we'll use this one. So I'm just going to cut on those score lines, and I'm going to put these to the side because I might use them later on in a mini album or something and make a belly band out of them. You never know. Okay, then I'm going to score it at 4.25. Okay, and then I'm going to fold it on the mountain high side. So now I have my base of my card. How easy is that? Okay, so if we know that my paper is 4.25 by 5.5, I'm going to use my decorative paper, and I'm going to score it at 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Okay. And oh, here's my dolly cutter. Okay. So, and you don't even need to measure these on your dolly cutter. But, okay, so I said 5 1/8, right? Oh, wait, no, I didn't. 5.25. That does not make sense. Oh, sorry, 5 3/8. Duh. Okay, 5 3/8, and I'm not going to exactly cut on my score line. I'm going to, there we go. And then that should be 4 1/4. Oops, I need to cut a little bit more because I can see that little bump. Okay, from my score line. So that's the only thing about when you're actually scoring your paper, you will have issues with that little divot from scoring. Okay, so now this is completely up to you. If you want to mark or dye your edges, which I'm going to do mine. And I'm always going to use my favorite brushed corduroy, my favorite little vintage dye. And I'm just going to get those little edges so they're not white. That's all I'm trying to do here. I'm going to get out my Score Pal mat and I just like to open my card out so I have more of an even measurement. And at this point you can decide whether or not you want to cut off a little bit more of the paper. I'm happy with this edge, so I'm going to stick with that. And I'm going to get out my glue and just go around my edges real lightly. Okay. And then I'm going to center it. Make sure I'm leaving that 1/8 inch border on all 4 sides. And I'm going to get out my bone folder and mash it in. And any glue that comes out, I'm just going to wipe it up with my dry wipey, which doesn't look like I really have any, so that's perfect. Okay. Oops. There we go. One thing I love about this glue is that it dries clearly. Okay, so now I'm going to put my card to the side for a moment and I'm going to prepare my circles. And this is really easy to do. I'm just going to fold it over. Well, actually, hold on. Before I do that, I am going to distress my edges because I like to give it a little bit of depth. So I'm going to go ahead and distress both sides, just on the edges of all my little circles. This is such an easy, quick card that I love it. Almost done here. Then I'm going to fold them all in half. And I'm going to take my bone folder and burnish in those edges there, that fold line. And this one doesn't look like I distressed that side, but I did. Okay, so I'm just going to move along here. And I actually got this idea from Mel B, and I thought they were super cute. She made little hearts, and so I'm going to do it with a balloon. Okay, now the last one you don't have to fold it over, but I like to so that I know where my center line is, okay? And then I'm going to take my card, and I'm going to decide which one I'm going to do on the front. And I kind of like that close your eyes and make a wish. And you have a couple options here. You could cut a small piece of paper to kind of like, you know, counterbalance, you know what I'm saying? Like do some layering. That's completely up to you. So this one, I believe is sorry, it's not 1 inch. This is 7/8 by 4 1/8. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing, but I want to have the happy birthday side. So I'm going to go ahead and cut one of those real quick. You know, in fact, I'm going to do 1 inch. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I really like the whole little, I actually make it 1 1/8. I like the whole little birthday line on there. So I'm making mine a little bit wider than I normally would. And then I'm going to cut it at, sorry, I think we said 4 1/8. Okay. So I'm going to just line this up and cut it at 4 1/8. And then again, I'm going to distress my edges. You could use an edge punch and make this have a little decorative edge. That's completely up to you. I want this to, you know what, I might do that. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because the colors look a little more feminine. So I think I can get away with doing a little edge here. Oh, sorry, just lining it up. Can't talk today. And that looks pretty good to me. Move my trash out of the way. Redistress my edge. Yeah, I really like this little doily punch. I think it's so cute. Gives this that little feminine edge. And I don't want to cover up my candles, so I'm going to do it just above that, or cover up my flame, shall I say. Look, I need a cold in here today. But it's supposed to get up to 70, so I think we'll be all right. And then I'm just going to line it up as straight as possible. And then burnish that in. And again, if any glue seeps out, like a little bit did over here, I'm going to clean that up with my dry wipey. And then I really like this one as my cover. I might even shorten this card a little bit. Let's do that. Let's check it out. I'm just going to do it right under the cupcake, excuse me. And I think I'll leave that, well, I'm going to shorten this just a little bit more. I'm only taking off about 1/8 of an inch. Well, I did a little more on that one. And again, I'm going to distress these. I'm going to go ahead and distress both at the same time, so I won't have to stop and do that again. Okay. So you can kind of do it in an angle if you want. Actually, I was going to do this one, excuse me. Close your eyes and make a wish. You could have it more down here. So it's just kind of wherever you want to place it. I think I'm going to place mine right about there. Just trying to line it up straight. Again, take my bone folder and mash in those edges and wipe up any excess glue. And now I think it's looking super cute already. So now I have to figure out where I want my balloon. And I'm thinking I want it right about there. Okay, and I kind of want it to touch on there. I'm not really sure, just a little bit. You could even have it up a little bit higher. And this one I'm going to put it on there flat. Now you have a couple options. You could actually layer these all up on top of each other, or you can kind of do it from side to side, which is I think what I'm going to try this time. I'm just going to line it up right at that center line. And then I'm just going to let them dry. And do the other side. Don't get too much glue or they will not open properly. So you kind of got to wipe up some of the glue on the ends there. And the neat thing about this idea is that you can lie it flat when you put it in the envelope, and then when they pull it out, it'll kind of fluff up. Then I'm going to put this one in the center. And I'm going to let that dry. For my little edge part where my little balloon piece here is, I probably should have put this into consideration, but I didn't. Last time I did, oh goodness, don't follow my directions. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a curve just by hand. And I'm going to get my string. I'm going to cut it a little bit longer than I need to, and then I can always trim it when needed. I'm going to add some glue here. Attach my string. Okay, sorry about that. My computer blinked out, so here we are. I did make another one, so I have 2 extras of these just in case I want to make this a little bit fuller, but I'm not sure if it's going to lie flat, so I'm just going to kind of test it out. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and attach my little piece here, and I'm just going to make sure I have enough glue. Okay, sorry. Dried up a little bit there. Okay. I'm just going to place it right underneath there, and I'm kind of like shoving it under there, and I'm just going to hold it down for a minute. Where's my little wipey? Okay, well, I don't know. Oh, here it is. I'm going to wipe off any excess glue because I did put a lot of glue there. I'm just going to hold it down. You could use your glue gun for this part. It might actually be a little bit easier. Sorry, I had a little extra glue come out and I'm trying to get it out of there. Okay. So now this is dry pretty much, and it's so far it's lying pretty flat. Let me see if I just add in 2 more. Let's see how much, if it's going to have difficulty, and I haven't glued it on here. I'm just guesstimating here at this point. Let me see if it'll still, yeah, it still does lie pretty flat. So you could add 2 more and it would be a fuller balloon than my other one. I just kind of felt like my other one just didn't have enough. So basically this is 6 of these little circles now. Okay, I'm just going to tuck that in there. And then do the same thing on the other side. Now I seem to have a much fuller balloon. And since it will still lay down, I like that idea. It's probably better to do this all at one time, but I just wanted to see. It just didn't feel full enough to me. So there. Okay. So it's looking super duper cute. I'm going to go ahead and cut off some of this extra string here. Okay. And then I'm going to pick out my little sticker that I'm going to put down there, kind of like in this little jar. I like the little camera. There's a little present. That's cute. Let's see. Could do the little bow tie. Let me see here. Not sure how I like that. I just don't know. It's cute. Let me see the little present. Oh, now that's cute. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my little present. I'm gonna ink them on the edges just so it's not all white there. I'm gonna take my glue because we know how these stickers always seem to come up. So I like doing that. And I'm just kind of thinking here. Yeah, that looks super duper cute. And then all you have to do is the inside. And we've already got that prepared and ready to go. And just kind of center it. Wipe up any excess glue. Burnish it in. And voila! You made a birthday card. I would just suggest kind of burnishing this in over here just to make sure it doesn't lift. And then you're ready to go. Birthday card that fits in your little book here. So now I have my January cards ready to go. Then I'm just going to lie this one flat. And then this one will close flat also. And that's it. Boom, you're ready to go. Anyway, I hope y'all like this tutorial. I'll be having a few more coming up very soon. And we will be seeing each other Tuesday on Coffee Talk of Country Craft Creations on Facebook for Technique Tuesday. So bye y'all.